Workshop.
Yeah. Workshop.
So we're just going to pick a little bit here. And you guys think of some questions, because we have no idea what we're doing. And if maybe you guys, after the tune, or maybe during the tune, think of some questions you might have, and that might help us, you know, carry this thing along here, because we don't know what we're doing up here.
Just do a little quick tell about yourself, maybe.
Oh yeah, well,
Who you were and where you came from and what were your influences and who you play with now.
I'm Billy Strings, and it's my buddy CJ here. We just met about 20 seconds ago.
We got some horse flies up here.
Well, we're gonna do a little instrumental version of a tune called "I Am a Pilgrim." Here. Alan, you listen to Clarence and...
Yeah, I actually kind of went backwards on this tune. I heard, I think it was Tony Rice and David Grisman, and then realized that Tony had learned it from Clarence and bought I think it was a 33 instrumental record. There's literally 33 tunes on one record, but they did kind of a compilation thing of Clarence's work and listened to that off there. And our set finished up at 4:15 last night, and I figure we'll start with a slow one. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I am a pilgrim. Any questions?
Who's your biggest influence?
Mine, I would say my own father, and then next to him, Doc Watson.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. When I was growing up, I heard a lot of Doc's music through my dad's voice, you know. So those are the two main birds for me. What about you, man?
Well, I kind of, the real first guitar player that I fell in love with was Stevie Ray Vaughan. I wasn't really into bluegrass, but my dad was, and he kind of came through at first Old Men the Way and Jerry Garcia, but then Tony Rice, J.D. Crowe, and Keith Whitley, and those lineups that J.D. had. Being from Lexington, it's kind of hard not to be heavily influenced by J.D. But anyway, I went to a festival with my dad, not really thinking I'd like it, and the Seldom Scene was playing. And I was really into Stevie at that time, electric music, but Chris Eldridge was playing with the Seldom Scene at the time, and they were doing like, you know, Eric Clapton tunes and stuff, so it really opened my mind to this music, and just the picking in the campground and stuff. I pretty much laid the electric guitar down. I just bought one about a few months ago and been getting back into it, but it's been about 10 years since I've really been playing much electric. And a few weeks later, Tony Rice came to Lexington, and it was kind of over with after that. And, you know, Doc Watts, you can't like any of those guys like Critter or Tony without liking guys like Doc and Clarence, and because they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them. And you know, there's a lot of guys to listen to, but they all kind of go back to a handful of guys: George Stuffler, Clarence White, Doc Watson, even Don Reno. A lot of people don't talk much about him, but I can go really long on influence.
What about your instruments? Tell about them, and maybe even the setup on them. Like it sounds like there might be some lighter gauge strings and some bluegrass. Yours sounds pretty neat.
Well, I actually play a Hiroshi Suda guitar typically. It's a guy from Osaka, Japan. But I just went to Telluride with it, and it went plumb berserk at 9,000 feet. So this is our banjo player's guitar. This is a Griggs guitar. I believe he's out of North Carolina. You know? And this is a mahogany with an Adirondack spruce top. I typically play a rosewood guitar, but I'm kind of falling in love with mahogany. And the action is on this one a little higher. That's why it kind of survived Telluride. I like a pretty heavy. I like medium strings, but I have put like heavy gauge on the G and the B and the high E string. But that experiment, I really didn't like it. But I mean, you know, just play around with it. I don't think you can really get anywhere with light strings in a lot of bluegrass jams where I'm around. Everybody plays the slider in hell, and it's hard to cut through. But just medium gauge strings and dreadnought guitar.
Yeah. I use Diodario mediums on here, and this is a Preston Thompson mahogany guitar with an Adirondack spruce top. Preston and his crew, they build guitars out in right over near Bend, Oregon, Sisters, Oregon. And kind of the opposite. I've always had mahogany guitars, but they're building me a Brazilian.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a little rain here this morning.
Yeah. What?